Welcome, welcome, welcome. What it do? What's popping? What's happening? Welcome to Thrifter Radio, where we document our roller coaster journey in reselling. Today, brought back Coach Hustle, the infamous Coach Hustle. How you doing, Coach?
What up, though?
Ain't nothing chilling on. How everything been?
Oh man, enjoying the adventure.
Already. So let's start first. Let's go ahead and give our shout outs, all of that there. First let's go over to Instagram, make sure you give us a follow. I'm at Thrifting there, just like the podcast. Make sure you follow Coach Hustle over there, Instagram as well. It's Coach_Hustle. Like some pictures, share it with your friends. We trying to run it up. We trying to, do it a little different, a little bit better this year. We trying to fine tune some things. So make sure you like some pictures. Make sure you, share with your friends and all of that there. Anything else you want to shout out before we get started, Coach?
Nah, that's it. Follow the the gram and the YouTube over there at Coach Hustle.
It's still okay. Yeah, it's Coach Hustle over at YouTube as well. Documenting everything over there on that on the channel. You know what I'm saying? So today, we doing it a little different today. I don't Coach, have you told anybody where you're going or where
Not
you
not exactly. Only my few close reseller hustlers. Just know everybody know I'm going south, but they don't know where I'm landing yet.
Okay. So today we go tap into what Coach has going on. She is relocating from New York down south. We don't know yet until she actually touched down, and then that's when we'll go ahead and pop the confetti and all of that there. But until then, she is documenting how she's traveling, what she's doing on the road, what the weather, what everything that's going on. She is documenting her what you call it, a nomad thrifter. She's a nomad thrifter right now. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right, in the field for real.
Really in the trenches right now. So we gonna tap into that today. We gonna keep it brief, but we definitely gonna give you the ins and outs, the pros and the cons on being a nomad thrifter. Okay, so let's start by I'm gonna ask you this: what made you want to relocate and why down south?
Well, I've been wanting to go down south for a little bit just because I seen after 2020 how the taxes was going to go in New York, and I realized a lot of billionaires left New York and everybody was headed down there. So I looked at where all my mentors was at that I watched on YouTube and where they was at, and they was in Florida. So I'm like, if I want to ever get close to them and be around that energy, I need to head on down there into no state taxes. That's what influenced me as you want to scale your business.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then it worked out to where my landlord wanted to renovate. She was trying to give, a new lease with a higher price. And, we just had to come to an agreement. She's like, okay, you keep the last rent, you get 30 days and, you relocate. And it's cost just as much to move down south as it is to move in the same state somewhere else. So I said, I'm gone.
Okay, I did that. So, me and you chop it up on the daily anyway. So, I know you told me that you were thinking about um, flying first, right? And then you ended up switching the game up. You pivoted, you know what I'm saying, and said that you're going to actually drive down. What made you switch that up?
Well, flying would be more because how far the trip is, but I was limited to what I could take and, how I could move. I would
Mm,
lose a lot of supplies and things and shipping all of that down there. It'd have been a hassle too. So I'm like, well, I drive and I just started looking at all my options. I'm like, well, if I drive, I can do this. I can, make other money this way to make up for that. I can see a little bit and I take a thrift trip basically. I can't do that on a plane. I just straight to the destination. So I seen where they, had a place for the rental and shout out to Priceline
okay.
and
Okay.
did it that way.
Hey, Priceline, y'all want to, tap in with a sponsor, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and tap in.
Facts.
But yeah, so when you just said that you will be losing a lot, meaning, you know, now how did you okay, so I know you deep in the trenches when it come down to thrifting. Okay, so did you lose a lot of inventory, product, supplies? Did you lose any of that? Or and if you did, what did you do to try to get off your stuff and try to recoup some money? Because this trip is going to be a little costly trip. So what did you do to start it out before you jumped on the road?
So I knew I had my timeline. So the biggest thing was like all my high ticket items I got together. So I had some machines that I used, like label printers and disc cleaners, and I knew I had still over 1,000 titles of video games. I'm like, I'm packing an SUV now, so I have to just, only the important stuff that I really can't replace has to come, and I need to get my most money from my biggest stuff first. So that's what I did. I listed that stuff first, put up lots, even down at the end of it had a whatnot, and so a few hundred games because I couldn't even fit them in the car.
Mm,
Between Macari and eBay and a lot of local sales, and I gave away a lot of stuff free. I even put it on the curve. I just
mm.
had a lot of letting things go, even from supplies as my lights. I just, I got down to the bare basics, to the minimalism type of thing was a thought process because everything could be, replaced. Just the important stuff had to come.
So that now, out of all the stuff you said, you left the lights. That's like one of the most important things we have. You know what I'm saying, in the thrift game is our lights. I know that was hard to part with. I'm not sure what type of light setup you had, but if I had to leave my lights, I know I spent decent money on my lights over time. So did that hurt you more, or did the inventory just put it on the curb hurt you more?
Um, it was the inventory. I'm like, wow, all of that I gained. I'm like, well, I seen the money. I'm like, well, a lot of it was unprocessed. It
Oh,
sat there in your dev pile. Like a lot of it was my dev pile. So it
okay.
wasn't too hard because anything I had like real money in or like the new product, I got rid of. But that dev pile that was worth some money. I'm like, wow, I had all this money sitting here that I never listed. And here it is on the curve, like thousands of dollars worth of product on the curve. And I'm like, well, hey, you didn't list it 6 months ago, so it ain't that important now. Let somebody else get it.
Hmm.
The light, I got that from a good deal. So I'm like, I can always find that stuff for a deal. Yeah, it was a pretty high ticket light, one of those newer ring lights, but I find deals on those all the time. And I'm saying that can be replaced. I'll catch it again.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it for sure, for sure. So you left when what's the day? Martin Luther King Day. So what day did you leave?
I left on January 9th, the morning of January 9th.
Okay. And so when you first started out, packed your whip up, you know what I'm saying, said your goodbyes and all that to any of your friends that you had up there, all of that. So how far did you get down before you made your first stop? Did you make any stops along the way, like to go to any thrift stores, any stores that what was your plan? Like I'm really trying to tap in to see, because I'm really impressed. I'm very impressed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of juggled about.
Appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? So, when you first jumped out there, did you have a plan on where you were going to stop, or did tell me a little bit about it? Just go ahead and dig deep. So I'm gonna step back and I want you to just give me your game plan from the time you said, "All right, filled up the whip, and I'm finna hit what's the freeway you left down."
I had to go out at what, 84.
84. So tell me, when you first got on 84, what was your plan? What was your first stop? All of that. Tell me, go ahead and dig deep. I'm gonna let you go ahead and just rattle off what you need to.
All right. So I'll give you a little pretense. I've like been a driver for a long time in my life. Like, I did private driving. I drove a lot for gigs. So I have a kind of like an idea of different areas and stuff like that. I know now, like I'm in my 30s, I only can drive like 4 hours max before I got to pull off the road. So that's kind of what I, had to plan out. I'm like, okay, you can do about 4 hours. Maybe you can do 2 4 hour shifts. Just see how you feel. That was kind of my thought process. I didn't want to over push myself. I realized I had just moved, so my body was a little achy. So, and then as I was driving down 84, here come the snow and the rain
Mm,
and the trucks. I say, oh, here the ice come, and I'm like, all right, well, looks like we're gonna have to be getting off soon. We ain't gonna be able to make it through these mountains. So that my
mm,
first stop was like with 3.5 hours in. I still wanted to go a little bit further, but the weather didn't permit. But luckily, the first town of Pennsylvania, I didn't know it at the time, but it was really outside of Hershey's Park. So I kind of got lucky with the first spot. It just happened to be right before you had to keep going and before you hit the next exit.
okay.
And I said, "Oh, well, I could pop up here." I'm like, "Shoot, it's snowing, and as long as the interstate's not cool, but I can get around on flatland, I'm gonna turn on DoorDash. I need to pay for a hotel anyway. So." I got on DoorDash while I was down there, and uh, got enough for a hotel, booked the hotel, and then I'm like, well, shoot, I'm here for a little bit. I kind of like this town. Where the Ben's at? You know, that's the Goodwill outlet for those that don't know, where you can get by the pound. I ain't never been here, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
outside of the capital, which is Harrisburg. Let me go check it out. And so
Okay.
I went to the Ben's, and the first day was dope. I found a little toy that was worth like $60, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's popping out here. I'm gonna stay another day. You know, I can come back. And I did that again. Stayed another day, dashed, got extended my stay. And then I found this like $100 video game. Didn't even know it. Was surprised.
What kind?
I
What
said,
kind? What kind of game was it? What
it
system?
was a GameCube game that was sitting in the bins, and it's crazy because I was a little discouraged at first. 'Cause I'm like, I see all this game stuff, but I don't really see the system, and I see a few games with no games in them in the cases. But I picked up this game and opened it, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I didn't even look it up. This little GameCube, I don't care what it's worth. It's only $1. I'm gonna flip it. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that Kirby GameCube, I'm like, what? I'm like, I bet. And I got a couple of other items, and I was only paying like $14 too. Because mind you, man, when I left, I only left with like 200 cash, and I had some pending payments, from like different sales and stuff that I had, like Walmart coming a little bit, and some different things I had coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of was limited on the budget, but I knew the snow, DoorDash hit, Hoop Cash, and then I was hitting in the thrifts, $14 a day, $12 a day,
Mm-hmm.
finding all types of deals. So I'm like, okay. And then I got a few sales on the road I was able to pack up. Cause I
Okay.
think I spent like 4 days out in this one state. And I'm like, all right, cool. I made some money out of here. I'm done. On
So
to the
you
next.
stayed 4 days.
Yeah, 4 days.
Stay in the hotel. So, like, how, if you don't want to tell, how much were you paying? You know what I'm saying, per day? Like, because were you in a nice ass hotel, or was you, you know what I'm saying, was you thugging it? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, well I was in between. I wasn't like in a super nice, but I wasn't at a Motel 8. I actually got some sweet deals because I'm hooked up with super.com. Shout out to them. Y'all can get my promo code, hit DM me, I'll give it to you. They got like, they'll show you all the deals and discounts. And because I, used them before, I had a couple coupons, and the hotels was usually like 108, 106. I'm hearing her quote this at the desk when I get in, and I paid like $53. I said, hey, and it's a nice hotel with a pool, a jacuzzi, you know
Okay.
what I mean? Some room. I say, yeah, I'm in there.
And see, the good thing about that is that I don't know if they heard it, but I definitely heard it. And I'm following your journey anyway. Like I said, we chop it up on the daily. You said your cash flow was limited. You had pending payments, pending, deposits and whatnot. But you said instant cash. And what I mean by instant cash, you jumped on DoorDash. See,
Yeah,
like you said, we wouldn't be able to do this type of thing, 10, 15 years ago because
heck no.
you know what I'm saying? 'Cause the internet wasn't as, the internet cash wasn't as abundant as it is now. So I heard that. So when you did the that app you just said, I've never heard of that app, so I'm definitely gonna get that code from it. I didn't even know nothing about that. So make sure you tap in, hit DM, just hand so you can use that referral code, because what you say, you told me one hand wash the other hand and both hand wash your face. So
Yes, sir.
I'm saying, you look out for me, you know what I'm saying? I look out for you, and we go keep it moving like that. But so that is definitely great to hear that you got your instinct, your survival instinct kicked in and said, hey, I need instant cash. What can I do for instant cash? And even though your cash flow is limited, you didn't look at it like, hey, I only got this amount, I can't spend any. Cause usually when people don't want to spend the money, cause they don't know how to make the money back, right?
Correct.
They
Yep.
don't make it back. So you may be sitting on 200, and then next thing you know, since you don't know how to make it back or flip that, your money just start going down in little increments here, little gas here, little food there, just little small items, this and that, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, you look up, you got $98. And you're like, dang, how I'm going to get some more money. So I love to hear that your survival instinct kicked in and said, hey, I need instant cash. These payments hadn't hit. We got a lot of the weather is bad, so the post service is BSing with my deposits, because they can't deliver my packages just yet, right?
That's
Because
correct. Yep.
what you did or whatnot, so you don't get paid until the package is delivered on the whatnot, right? So got all that pending. So I love to hear that. So you stay about what, three? You said 4 days there.
I stayed 4 days. I had 2 good days at that thrift. The
Mm,
hotels were still cheap. I was eating with DoorDash because nobody wanted to get out and work in this area. Like I said, I was right outside of Hershey Park. It
okay,
had snowed and been bad weather, so a lot of people were stuck. They actually shut down the first day. They actually shut down one of the highway entrances because of an accident because of the weather. So I was good out there. I'm like, oh, I can eat. I can come up a little bit. So I'm like, cool, fatten your pockets and then get on.
sound like you was by yourself out there. So it was definitely a lot of money on them streets.
Yeah. I don't think nobody wanted to work, or they was still going maybe for break or something.
Okay. So Nick, so now you left. After 4 days there, you spent $12 to $14 a day down there. Getting your inventory, small items. I saw what you got. I'm not gonna spoil them and tell them what you got because I need you to go over to her Instagram to see what she got. See that Kirby game. That's something that you need to put in your mental Rolodex. If that game is worth almost $100 and she only paid 25 cents to 75 cents for the game by the pound, that is something that you need to put into your mental flipping Rolodex. You know what I'm saying? So now you left, you made your little profit, ate good, slept decent. I ain't gonna say you slept good because you ain't in your, what I'm saying, you're not in your own habitat. So, you know, you left there. How many, hours did you drive to the next town? What did you go to the next, did you make it to the next state or what happened?
Yeah, so my plan was to make it to Charlotte at the time, and that was about 5.5 hours away. I started driving, but sometimes you forget, like, well, you door dashed from 11 to 4, and now you're trying to drive 4 to 9 to this next place, and you still been in the car. You didn't give yourself like a rest or a break. So
Yeah,
about 2 hours into the trip, I'm like, oh man, like I'm not sleepy, but I'm restless in this car. I'm like, I gotta get out the car,
right.
right? So I hit a rest stop, and I'm like, what's near me? Like, so I see the weather that's coming. I'm looking it up, and I'm like, ooh, we got some weather coming. I don't think I'm gonna make this too far. So I took a pit stop, and I'm like, all right, Virginia. I'm still in Virginia. I'll stop halfway through here. Let me see if I can get further enough south of the weather that's about to come hit. Where I won't be stuck, but I'll be still straight.
Okay, so what I hear is that you're being observant of your surroundings because you already seeing the weather play. I'm not sure if you got multiple devices, if you got two phones, an iPad, or whatever else, but you're definitely tapping in with your surroundings and seeing where you're going and where you're heading, and seeing and paying attention to your safety because your safety and your body is the main thing, especially while you're on the road. You know, you said, hey, I drove from 4 hours. I was dashing for 4 hours and I just jumped right on the road. People don't understand that driving is tiring. You know what I'm saying?
Very. Oh, and I left when it was really, very gusty. Let me tell you, we
Okay.
had winds from like 25 to 40 miles per hour. So you're constantly having to, check to make sure the truck ain't, jackknifing in front of you, making sure you not blowing out the lane and staying back far enough. And that's taxing on yourself too. After 2 hours of that, you like, man, I'm tired of this.
For sure, for sure, and I definitely understand that because, like I said, I'm not a driver. I don't really like driving. I mean, I drive, of course, but like you said, 4 hours is really my max. I don't care if I was 20 or if I'm 30. I'm almost 40. You feel me? I'm still just 4 hours. I mean, I just never been a driver, so I commend you on that. Like I said, just staying, aware of your surroundings and understanding your understanding your body because you're really talking to yourself now. Because that definitely makes the trip a lot longer when you're by yourself. It's only so much
That's the
music.
other part. Yeah.
So that music and there's only so many songs you can listen.
Hey, it all sounds the same by the fourth hour. It all sounds the same.
Then you go through these little country towns. You don't know who was the radio station, and yeah, and I understand. Have you been driving at nighttime, or you just really just try to travel during the day when the sun?
Well, I try now because I know I'm in the mountains and I don't know this route. I've never taken it before. I like to try to go like in the day,
Okay,
midday. So by the time nightfall, because especially like I said, I knew the weather what was coming. If it's windy, if it's gonna be raining, if it's gonna be snowing, I don't want to be traveling at night. So that's something I considered. So remember, I told you I got a background in driving and understanding how different areas look. So I know about certain things I see. I know where's the hood at. I can tell by certain things I see where's a predominant, affluent area at. So I'll look at a map. All right, this is in my route. It's about hour and a half out. It looks like a pretty predominant area because this is here, this is here. Maybe, a college town is there. Cool. What's the nearest hotel? From super typing the zip. Oh, bet that's cheap. I'm staying there. That's the winner.
For sure. So you don't have to give your exact location, but wherever you're at right now, have you done any thrifting? Have you done any dashing? You know, take us through that a little bit.
Yeah, I did a little dashing when I first tapped in. Cause I like to, what I want to do is like cover my hotel expense, cover my gas, cover my food with my dashing.
Okay.
That's the goal. So once I hit that, I'm Gucci. Then I
Okay.
did hit the thrift the next day. It had a come up, man. Another come up. Check it out on IG. I won't give it here, but definitely check it out on IG.
I saw
Uh,
it. I saw it.
it was another $100 come up, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, here I go again. So I'm
And
like,
that's the thrift guys looking out for you. You know what I'm saying? When you're good people, you're genuine. You ain't out here trying to scam and do any of that. That's the thrift guys look out for you. You know, every industry has their guys. That's the way I just look at it. I'm not saying that it's on some sacrilegious type of thing, but I'm just, I'm kind of being funny, but I'm being serious at the same time. You know what I mean? The thrift guy definitely is looking out for you because you stepping out on faith. Really and truly, you just stepping out on faith. It sounds like you don't even really have a pure. You have a destination, but you don't have a secure setup. I guess you would say at your final destination. I'm not sure if you know exactly there. You have a apartment or wherever you're going to be at. It doesn't sound like you really have that together just yet. It's kind of like you're on the fly. Which, hey, no kids, no marriage, no.
exactly. No, nothing. So it's okay. That's how I look at it. I wouldn't do this if I had kids. No, you got to be more planned out. But
For sure.
like you say, it's just me. So I'm like, we have this technology. I'm like, well, the first thing I thought, because apartments is kind of different and you want to see it, I want to be in the area to make sure that's where I want to tie myself to for a year because I ain't lived there.
Mm,
Let me do some Airbnb for a while. They about as just much as rent. That's what I looked at before I left. So, or there's other. I'm going to like a resort area, a tourist area. It's a big place.
okay.
So I know there's gonna be somewhere I can stay, a whole another hotel or something. I know I can dash. I sell online. I still have inventory with me, just not everything. So even if I had to jump out my trunk hand to hand to make my $100 a day, I know I'm gonna be good. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a hustler, so I do depend on my hustler instincts. And as long as you're willing to hustle, you're gonna find the money. And I said the worst case, I mean, I could have to work, and get a job, but that's like worst case scenario. I just rather, hustle because I know how, like you say, you got to know how to flip your money, and I've learned how to do that very well, just in different increments, legitly. So
Yeah, with that DoorDash and Uber Eats and all that, that just brings another level of instant cash. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a super stress on you finding a job because, like you say, you can drive for 8 hours in a day and make a good good decent amount of money, especially in certain areas. You know how to work it because you've been doing DoorDash for a minute, so you definitely know how to work it.
that's a fact. Yep, you got to look at, like you say, what's your plan. You looked at them areas, what's predominant, what's popping, who got money. That's what I look at,
So
and that's where I go.
you definitely done mapped it out a little bit. You kind of like you're on the fly, but you definitely know it's kind of like where you're going to a certain extent. You just may have to veer off the path or stop a little bit before you really wanted to. But that's part of adjusting and pivoting in the game, man. That's just part of living on the fly. That's just hey, you gotta adjust to your surroundings and your situations. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. And the weather.
Oh, this is crazy.
Shout out to Winter Storm Heather.
Yeah, this is crazy because we are like I think it's like 14 degrees right now. I'm in Dallas and it's like 14 degrees. So it's like we've had worse weather back in 2022. It was terrible. But like you say, today was a holiday, Martin Luther King Day, so the postal service hadn't been running. You know what I mean? So you got Sunday and Monday off. Now I'm not sure. The snow has kind of cleared up here, but I'm not sure where it's going, and I don't know if it's going your way. down that East Coast, line down there. But it sounds like you're like might be running right into it. But I think once you get past what is that? You said North Carolina or so, right?
Yeah, North Carolina. Yeah, I'm about 2.5 hours out from that, so I should be clear in the midday and be able to book it south.
Okay, yeah, you'll be able to get on. You'll make up your time. I'm not sure if you got a timeline on when you want to be there, but once you get past that, I think you'll be able to go ahead and put the pedal to the metal and get to your destination at that point. Like I said, if you ever look for these college towns, that's what I will say. Look for these college towns because especially the kids throw away a lot of stuff because they are moving and all this stuff. And the Benz is gonna save you. I'm looking at your Instagram all day, every day, so I know what you're picking up. I saw you was in a little thrift earlier. You know what I'm saying, and it was a lot of
Yeah,
stuff you normally would have picked up if you had a stable location. But that's the discipline that you're trying to show everybody. Like, hey, maybe this new wave, grill may sell for 150 bucks, but I don't have anywhere to store it right now. And it may take me 2, 3, 4 weeks for it to sell, and I don't have room for that right now.
yeah,
So
and I can't lock the initial capital up on it either.
there you go. So spending the 20s and the 30s, you know what I'm saying, on one item is not, unless it's going to sell the same day or the next day, that's not really the plan. Because like you said, you started out with 200 cash. You left the crib with 200 cash. And fam, you down, you know what I'm saying? You down in the state that you in now. You feel me? Like,
That's right.
yeah,
Gas costs, food costs,
for
hotels cost, so you got to make it happen.
sure.
And I know I'm gonna get further south, so I'll probably make one more stop before I hit my destination because I kind of plan to stop and thrift and you know find these off-beaten stuff that people don't hustle in. What's the stuff they leaving behind? And I noticed, like some of these places, all they after is vintage T-shirts. They don't care about electronics. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about this small toy that I found for
Right.
50 cents that might be worth $60.
Right. Hey, that's crazy. Like I said, man, go over to the Instagram and like that picture and all that, man. Comment, all of that, because that's crazy. Like, and like you said, when I go to the bins, that's all they be really hunting for is the vintage. Vintage this. And I don't even, I know when some stuff is old or whatever, because I know some tags here and there or whatever. But for the most part, I'm looking for those bread and butter items like what you're doing right now. The stuff that's going to turn over in 30 to 60 days. They got a good sell through rate because you can sell online. The internet is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This
Yes,
is
sir.
this is lovely. Like you put me on the digital game, you know what I'm saying? And when I jumped in, you was like really the first person out, and I don't know how I found you. Again, I say this every episode. I don't even know how I found you, but it was just something that just clicked and I understood. I was like, man, this person is genuine. Like they really giving the game because you was at McDonald's when I first got you. That was your name.
Yeah, that was my original name, McDonald's to Millionaire. The
Yeah,
mindset coming from there. I think you found me because like 30 days I was listening to Gary Vee. He's like, you got to put yourself out there and start recording yourself. You know what I'm saying? Speaking who you are because somebody, you know what I'm saying? You don't know who you're going to connect with out here.
so
And yeah, that's an A1 ever since. So yeah, I like being in the trenches like this, only having to spend $12 to $14. It actually made me become more disciplined and how I'm sourcing. This is
yeah.
kind of what I missed before when I had an influx of capital. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you could be doing something, especially as a new business owner. You get that influx of capital you ain't seen before or seen in a minute. You might, what I'm saying, lose your mind a little bit. We talk about that in the other episodes, what I'm saying, what went on and how I'm there to hear.
Message.
But now this time around, I'm like, well, you know how to think about it. I took those lessons. Now I know how to analyze this data properly. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's too big. Oh, you can stay with something this little. Oh, I might have to learn a new niche and keep looking new stuff up. Yeah, I've been reselling 3 or 4 years, but you always are looking stuff up. You always are finding new things because, like you say, you got to pivot. The game is changing.
Yeah.
The economy is changing, so the game is changing. You got to shift with it.
And on the side note, that was a bar and that was a message. And Google Lens is your friend right now at this point. Especially
Yeah. Oh goodness. Yeah. And
I
eBay got the search too, so you can look it up. That's how I've been finding new stuff. I'm like,
hey,
I ain't never seen this before. What is
I've
this?
been had that's what I used at first before I found out about Google Lens. I don't know how because I was clicking on that little search part and it said the image, and I was like, image, and that's what made me find that out because I was trying to get to the barcode, you know what I'm saying, on that part, and I saw they had added that. I'm not sure how long ago they added that feature, but I think I've been using it maybe for a year or so before I even found out about Google Lens. I'm not sure how I found about it. It might have been you, might have been somebody else I was following online and said something about Google Lens. I was like, damn, let me try to, do that. And I already got a Google app. So when I take pictures of my items, I just use that Google Photos app, and it already has a little link right there that says Google Lens. So the good picture that I'm taking, I can just click that button and it searches the internet for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Mm.
that's definitely helping the game out. So we're not gonna keep people too long. We about at a good hot 30. We'll get 30, almost 31 minutes. Go ahead and finish it out. Let us know what we need to know about your journey thus far. And just drop us with some gems before we get out of here. I mean, you don't have to go into depth, or you can if you want to, but just give us a good hot minute of some hot fire real quick.
Oh, that's a bet, man. Well, always, map out your plan and just know your strengths, like, and play to that. That's what I do. Play to my strengths. I'll be lying to you if I said I wasn't nervous. Now my nerves is on 10 because I ain't never did this before. So you will be nervous, but you can overcome that by playing to your strength. I know my strength is research and hustling. So I know I can look at any data, any map, where to go, where to find it, and find product and know your skill set. If you know how to sell online and you know how to take pictures, then do it. If you know how to drive around and drop people off, then do it. If you can grocery shop, do it. And look at all your options. Don't limit yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't stay in that in a fear state and be limited. If you become limitless and look at everything that you have and everything that's available to you and get to Googling some stuff sometimes, some things will be available to you. Like in the future, and people should do this too. Look for some grants surrounded by your business. There's a lot of cash out here for business. It might take you a minute to get it, but look at what you got to have to, what I'm saying, to get it done. And like I say, the nerves gonna be there. It's okay.
You're
You keep
human.
moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And if you messed up before and it's all bad, who cares? Like keep moving. It's
Right.
gonna happen. You ain't never done this before. I've never been an entrepreneur before. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? You don't know everything that you gotta do. So you just gotta keep moving, keep learning, and just keep coming better and stay believing in yourself. And you'll always make that way.
Bar right there. Keep believing in yourself. When nobody else believes in you, make sure you believe in yourself. Because it only takes one minute. 1 minute can change your whole life for what I'm saying, for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? But you can never change all what I always say, you can't complain about not winning the lottery if you don't play the lottery, right?
That's a
You know what I mean?
fact.
Those people that just keep doing the same stuff every day, they're not. I'm not, and this is no shade to them. It's great to have the comfortability, but nothing dramatic is going to happen to them in their life other than to me go down. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing the same things every day. But what you're doing so much that you may hit a bend and find a little trinket, and that thing may be worth $500-600. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, eventually it's gonna come as long as I keep looking.
As long as you out in the field, things can happen. You know what I mean? So, and I don't even look at the bad part. I always look at the good part. With that being optimistic about the stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like the glass is always half full when you're an entrepreneur. Like don't worry about the bad days. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have a bad day if you have a job. You feel me? If you have a regular nine, you're gonna have a bad day. So don't worry about you having a bad day as an entrepreneur. It happens. That's part of the game. Take your lumps, you know what I'm saying, with your hills. It comes with the hills and the valleys and the mountains and the holes, you know what I'm saying? So definitely, definitely. I love the game. I love it. I mean, I'm proud of you for sure, for sure. Like I told you before you even left, man, I'm proud of you. That's something that, that I talked about. The reason why I left my 9 to 5 job, just I was by myself, no kids, no wife, no none of that. And I'm like, I just got to feed myself. So I just, hey, why not? This is the best time to do it. So I definitely love to hear stories like this. And the journey's not over. So I want everybody to go to Instagram, go to coach_hustle. Go into the stories. She's in the stories every day. You know what I'm saying? We're like the thrift community is like her family. You feel me? Why she on the road?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? We
Y'all
be
got my back, so if y'all don't hear from me, y'all know somebody that got me. Look,
and before you go, because you did tell me that you had somebody that has your location at all times. You know what I'm saying? So that's
oh
all.
yeah.
safety tip that you need to do while you're, if you want to be a nomad thrifter, make sure somebody at least have your location so they can find you, you know, because you're out there on the road by yourself. You're out in a place in cities that you know nothing about, and these people may be, you know, watching you while you trying to catch you lacking. You know what I'm saying? So,
Exactly.
and I know you from the D, you feel me? So I know you on your P's and Q's and all that. So again, man, shout out to you, man. I love it. I love to hear the story, man. We're gonna keep watching your journey. You know what I'm saying? We'll keep watching the roller coaster ride that you got going on. But we got our prayers for you, we got our hopes up for you, you know what I'm saying? And hey man, we go tap back in. I'm gonna say maybe another day or so. What do you think we want to do another podcast? Let us know the updates on where you at.
True. By the end of the week, I'm gonna be where I need to be at. So probably
Okay.
by Friday, we'll, you know what I'm saying,
Well,
tap in.
okay. We can definitely do that. You know, I'm gonna talk to you anyway, but make sure you tap in. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you like the pod. Make sure you go over to Spotify, like this. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you go to Instagram. Make sure you go to everything that we own. It's we under the same name under any platform. We under all that. So make sure you give us some love, man. Show her some love. Show me some love. Share it to everybody, man. Any last words?
Oh man, just thanks for, tapping in, being a part of the journey, man, and let me speak about it, bro. Appreciate it.
And for sure, and I'm gonna use matter of fact, you say your slogan, fam. You say the slogan. You say the slogan.
Hey man, hustle over hate,
There you go, man. All day, man. Keep hustling, man. Shout out to you, man. All right, we'll talk to you next time, man.
All right.